back rancor. The Black King trapped behind his own pawns. Alireza Firouzja cannot trade bishops right now. It's a key moment. He needs to find another solution, but he's down to 2 minutes. He does block the queen's path. That was the only way to survive.
So tricky there by Magnus, setting up that big trap. Because if you're black, you really want to liquidate pieces here. You want to get those trades in, but not giving him the chance. E5 hitting the queen. Magnus with an inaccuracy there. Queen's off the board. And now Alireza can trade on E3, destroying Magnus' pawn formation.
Yeah, this should be a drawn endgame. It's going to be bishop takes bishop. White's going to take the knight, the black knight. But rook and knight versus rook and bishop. Pawns are only on one flank of the board, only on one side. Knights are better than bishops. Firouzja is going to have to sit and suffer there for a long time. Only white can win. Magnus is now, I think, going to activate hustle mode. He's been reluctant to do it on the clock, but here we go. Can Firouzja hold what is a slightly unpleasant endgame?
I think he does it. He knows what's on the line right now, and at the end of it, if he holds this position with black, that is a massive, massive thing for him. I mean, it's almost like a slight victory here. He gets white in the next turn. Alireza, he pushes the G pawn, tying down black's king side. 3 pawns there. Bishop moves backwards. The knight's about to move forward. He first brings the king into the game.
Magnus grabbing space there with that pawn move to G5 to begin with, and he's going to start grinding, gets the pestle and mortar out. We've seen Magnus do this time and time and time again, but will he be able to convert something against what appears to be a little bit of a rejuvenated Firouzja? We've seen him pull out some unbelievable magic tricks in the last game, showing us some of his fantastic skill. We've also seen flashes of him breaking out of, shall we say, the time-draining funk that he's been in, but there were still flashes of that where he did use a minute or two in the late middle game. But he is getting better at it, and you can feel the confidence starting to grow.
There we go, it's bullet time. The clock turns red for Firouzja. He needs to act quick. The white king is stepping up the board. This is what Magnus Carlsen calls anti-young player chess. He's killed the chance of white losing this game now. It's a race against the clock. Firouzja can't clarify the board though. He has no active plans as white steps forward.
And that's because of that 1 pawn on G5. It clamps down on those 3 pawns on F7, G7, H7. Any move by either of these pawns would lend black a huge weakness to deal with. Magnus, meanwhile, can jump around the board with his knight, now about to target the E5 pawn, defended by the bishop, but the knight comes further into the game, hitting the rook and the black F7 pawn, knight D6 in the air.
Knight is coming in. The white rook lands on the 7th rank first, followed by its knight. Black is in full defensive mode. All backs to the wall here. Firouzja needs to break out. He's got 40 seconds. You cannot sit still and do nothing anymore. Magnus will just bide time and go for you. And there we go. He does trade pawns. Here he needs to start trading rooks. Firouzja, he needs to get everything off the board within his last 30 seconds. We're going to see another race against the clock, but a totally different scenario this time, where it's going to be difficult to force Magnus Carlsen to blunder.
And this time, Magnus is going for Firouzja's clock. He's down in this set. He has to maximize his chances. He's not going to shy away from flagging him anymore in this match.
Magnus needs to make some quick moves. He has a 2-minute time advantage. It's going to be so difficult for Firouzja here. The black rook was almost trapped, creating some luft there, some escape squares. Black king shuffling. Magnus is pushing pawns. Black rook forced back. Still so unpleasant here, Tanya. The white knight dominates the bishop.
And no more pawns can be traded. And look at that. Magnus Carlsen, he wins a pawn. The first big advantage. He's converted his strategic points into a material advantage.
We go Firouzja creating some counterplay, hitting the white knight, which has to be defended now by the king or the rook. 1 pawn up, but it's not about the clock, about the pawns here. It's about the clock. Keep an eye on the red on your screens. Alireza Firouzja needs that fire, needs the speed.
He does, but will that even be enough with 11 seconds? And Magnus just playing this on endlessly, gives a check, drives the black king away. Magnus Carlsen winning now. He's trapped the bishop, and Alireza knows he resigns. Magnus Carlsen back in set 2.
Resignation, there we go, with 8 seconds left to go. The speed was incredible. The number of moves that were played in the last 30 seconds of that game, formidable, but not enough to stop the tide that is world #1, Magnus Carlsen. He fights back, and set 2 is now level at 1 apiece.
Firouzja